Okay. This is what we're looking at tonight. Should be very interesting. So I'll start by inviting up the film club if I can pull up their presentation, if I can find it. Yeah, so I'll invite you forward and you can take over here.
Yeah.
Did you share it via email?
Yes.
Okay.
I sent it to you as a PDF. That's in the email thread in which Graham sent my stuff to you.
Okay.
Great. I guess I'll just stand here then.
Okay. I don't know how to present a PDF. Do you?
On Zoom. I thought I was just gonna like present my laptop or anything. I can only share it to you like via
Yeah.
uh
Can you put that really quick?
yeah, I'll do it really quick. Very quick. Okay. You should be receiving an email saying that I shared it with you.
Okay. Got it. Make sure it's working. Okay. You just hit the spacebar. No,
Spacebar? Okay, cool. Alrighty then. So I've been told that I only have like 5 minutes for this, so I guess I'll just go ahead and get started. Um, cool. So hello everyone. My name is Eric Sanchez. I'll introduce myself a little bit in a sec, but I am presenting to you IIT Film Club. This used to be a club that existed here on campus, but was defunct, and now I'm trying to resurrect it. So you might be asking, why start a film club? What purpose, would this serve? Well, for one, I think that it will enrich the culture here at IIT. I think that film has a powerful component to bring people together in joy, in laughter, in emotion. I think that it can be a pretty good opportunity to enrich the culture here at IIT. Um, also a great way to relax and unwind from work. We all have those days where we have too much work, and we just want to hang out with some friends and maybe just entertain ourselves for a little bit. So IIT Film Club, I think, can fill that capacity. Um, Another thing is that many people will uh, identify themselves with these characters and feel inspired. Looking at these stories, I think that a lot of people will identify themselves with these characters, and as a result, I think they'll feel much more inspired, and I think they'll be in a much better place. Another reason is because they'll actually have an input in this club. This is for the people. We'll obviously give them like a range of films for them to decide. There's a lot of films out there, but reasonably we want them to decide what they want to watch. So they have some input in it, and I think that's very empowering. We also would like to have the ability to promote other clubs sharing movies. All these different other clubs have their own topics that they want to discuss, and film is this wide ranging medium that I think covers a lot of things, and I think that having a collaboration with these other clubs is a pretty good way in elevating them and um, raising their membership. Um, and lastly, I just wanted to say that it can also we're also looking to inform students of the different theaters and film festivals that occur in the Chicago area. There's a lot of them happening in the city, and that can be a pretty good thing, especially for those newcomers here at Chicago, so they can maybe get involved outside of the city and get to know it a little bit better. Alrighty. So what does our club consist of so far? So right now, there's me. I plan to be president right now. Jorge Placencia, who is a CS student, is going to be my vice president so far. I'm also a CS student. This is my fourth year, and also this is my last semester. Um, my treasurer is Evan Yang. He is a second year business major. And my social media slash PR manager is Soto. He is an architecture major. And I've actually secured an advisor right now. His name is Andrew Roback. He is an adjunct professor here at IIT. He typically teaches document design. Um, and right now, I actually went ahead and created a Discord. So right now, the first thing that I did is I created an interest form for people. 44 of those people that have responded to that interest form, in which I laid the QR code around campus, have responded, and each and every single one of them said that they are interested in seeing a film club. I also gave them access to our Discord, which I created. And 35 of those 44 people have actually joined in the Discord, and we are currently showing movies every Friday by me streaming. Cool. So this is kind of like the events that I'm kind of just thinking about doing on campus. So we would like to do film screenings in person on a monthly basis. The reality is that copyright can sometimes be a little bit of an issue, and so with all that money going into copyright, I think that showing films on a monthly basis, I think is quite adequate. We're also thinking about just some fun casual events. You know, maybe we could do a tier list on a famous director and their films and see how well they rank. Maybe we might do trivia events for movies. Maybe we might just do like some sort of meeting where we just, you know, share what we're watching right now. And I also want to emphasize that it's not just the Hollywood American films that we're going to be showing. We're going to be showing international films, especially for those international students that are in our campus. I think that by doing that, they'll develop a kinship with the campus, should that happen. And semesterally, we would like to attend at least one film festival or movie theater outing. This could just simply be seen as just renting out a theater or just simply buying tickets for all of us all at once. Or like I said, just go to one of the film festivals that Chicago is so famous for. I think recently there was an international film festival not too long ago that I think would have been very valuable for this club. And of course, as I already mentioned, we're also looking to collaborate with other clubs and helping each other out. And that's pretty much it. And of course, I'm always open to any questions. So thank you so much for your time.
Question, what's the reality of copyright these days? Is it $500 minimum?
It depends. It depends on how recent the film is. It depends on how many members we think are gonna attend the event. I've actually tested this out. So my contact right now is Criterion Pictures. They have a selection of films right now that are available. And typically they're in charge of sending us a copy of the film. But realistically, I think we'll probably just buy it on Amazon and just simply acquire the license. So I asked them, I decided to test this out with the 2019 film Jojo Rabbit, and I just said, okay, let's just say that 40 people are going to show up to this event. He gave me a range, he gave me a quote, and it was $325 to $450. So it is quite a lot. But you know, we're confident that this will actually benefit students greatly. Yeah.
So, at time of or they have
Mhm.
and that was not a huge success the campus. So what like extra do you have in your team that can put in more people in something like or you are already doing like movie screening every like quarter. So why like a question like this, why film club?
Mhm.
Why not we already have to be or
Sure. So film club is this is going to be a dedicated film club, and as I explained earlier, This is going to be a club for the people, so they will actually have the input on what type of movies that they show. Quite apart from that, we are also thinking of really hammering home our outreach. Currently, we are trying to do this via Instagram, and I think that hopefully with our budget in posters, I think that with a very aggressive like social media campaign, I think that we will turn in much more numbers. Yeah.
You talked about film festivals and
Mhm.
so I think want to collaborate with in order to know which is the recent film festival and how we can arrange the rest of the administrative requirements in order to board people from our university to the film festival location. Is
Yeah.
it within the city?
Oh, well, yeah, ideally this will be within the city, and hopefully this will be within the bounds of like getting to the film festival via subway. This is I wouldn't call this a collaboration. We really we are just thinking of just simply attending these events, as fellow film enthusiasts, and not necessarily like reaching out and collaborating with them. And ideally, we would also like we would all travel like together in a group. Many other clubs have done this as well. Grit has done this as well. Like when we go to like races, we all meet up at the Green Line platform, and we all go as a unit. And so hopefully there will be no concerns about anything bad happening right now.
So in one of the film festivals, we have festival charges of entry or registration fees.
Mhm.
So will that be arranged by more people or we will be deciding that later?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm okay with just paying like the normal like entry fee. We if it is possible for them to like offer a discount to students, I'm definitely all for it. I can definitely look into that. Yeah, by all means, if that is a possibility, then yeah, I would do it. But really, what I had in mind was just simply paying like the standard like entrance fee.
Then knowing I also
Mhm.
about I also attend one film festival around.
Awesome.
What I know is for a student, the minimum fee is at least $200 per person.
Per person. Okay.
So
So
that
well, then, so obviously, I think we would probably be just a little bit more smarter with our money and probably not go to those like high-end film festivals. Probably maybe a local one, or like I said, if money does become an issue, we could just simply all go out and see a movie in a movie theater.
the thing is, local festivals are not marketed a lot. So
Correct.
how do you motivate people to go in these festivals? So which has a lower registration?
Sure. So, I mean, I would like to think that, our club members would really truly love film. So I would expect them to be, excited about the prospect of going to one of these events. And you you said that there should be like a motivating factor, right? I mean, I think that here at IIT, I mean, just having like the community and being together and just simply hanging out and having fun, I think is motivation enough. Um, I've already addressed like the monetary problem about it. We definitely won't like go absolutely. We definitely don't want to like drain IIT of like money. So we certainly do want to be like a little bit more reasonable with the cost. Yeah.
All right. That's our question time. Is it all right? Do I have a motion to discuss? Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
Does anybody have a point of discussion for this organization tonight? No?
It seems like a major concern for this organization, so at the very least, it's not for that. I think having a better dynamic for actually hosting movies would be great. The best is my percentage is $90, other than copy the venue. So advancing the effective system, you have it in the film club, one of the oldest in the world, and they have I think they have a 35 millimeter film, 35 millimeter for
70 millimeter film with Oppenheimer was good enough. Or those 70 millimeter IMAX, and that equates to at least 10 movies. And so, upgrading technology can also finish with them. I'd also like to add that when respect to these things, we can do in front of candidates, I think it's part of it. And we, and to get our candidates, but everything. And I think very good, take the load off and stuff. Everybody knows that topic, to take that load off and then to spread it across. Any opposed? Okay. We will move on. Bolu, if you'll release the voting form. We'll move on. Is this your presentation? Okay, perfect. Move on. If you just. Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. So basically, what our team is trying to do is basically to build a PM club, product management club. So I will start with why we started and why we decided to build a product management club here. Basically, I'm part of a Kaplan Pitch Fest, and we are looking out for the product managers. These are the some skill sets which are needed in the right to build a product out of it. And after finding and after researching a lot of students and talking with them, I find out that we don't have any product management course here. It's just like a ITM 595, which is not fixed, or sometimes this course is not available in the college. So product management skills are so much important to build a product out of it, and these skills are so much valuable in the industry right now. That's why we decided to build a product management club. So what we are trying to do is bridging the gap between theory and the practice for the future innovators. So what IIT is Hyper and IIT is made up of, basically to help students to thrive in the real life world, get a job opportunity in the real situation. So that's what we are trying to build a club. So our mission is basically simple: to understand and appreciate the realm of the product, basically, and help product managers to build skills such as UI, UX designing, to doing a customer research and talk about how you can build the skills and be ready for the job market, rather than just waiting for the skills or getting ready for the job after you get a job. It's basically the waste of time and waste of time of your basic of your the recruiter. So that's the skills we are trying to build in this club. It's totally about the heart of the innovation. Basically, what we are trying to achieve is basically to give the innovation mindset to the students who are really interested in the product management club and build those skills in the innovative way. So there are certain courses which help them to build the innovation mindset, but some students take it, some students not. Most of the students were interested in the product management, but they later on decide that it's not feasible because they don't have the right skill sets in their college work, and they move to the software management roles, but they don't like coding. And that was one of the reasons maybe our club can help them in to build those skills. So we are basically empowering the IIT's future innovators, practical knowledge in product management tools and methodologies, develop them with the market analysis, product design skills, and give us strategic skills, those who are needed to be a product manager. Networking with the industry leaders, that is one of our main focus. We are connecting with a lot of product managers because I'm part of a Kaplan startup, basically. So I'm a CEO of the startup, and I'm currently working in the startup. So we have a lot of VCs and a lot of product managers we are talking with. So I got a lot of contacts with them, and they can help us, and they are ready to help basically the students. They are always ready to help the students build their skills so that they can get ready for the job market. So that's our focus. And the platform for the creativity and innovation tools, we are always available, but the resources are all over the internet, but it's so scattered. It needed in one place. So that's why we are trying to do it. So what sets us apart, basically the specialization focus on the multi-phase domain of the product management. So right now the courses are like project management, there are UI UX courses, human and computer interaction, all other courses are there, but it's not combined interaction. Product management is a mix of all of this. So we can give them those skill sets, how much the skill of needed in a product management, how much skill in needed in a project management. So these are the skill set, and that sets us apart. And basically, I think our college needs this club basically because we need to build future innovators. It's all about building a future innovator, just like our college had built cell phones and mobile phones in the last 50 years before. So what are we building right now? We have to build a future innovators, and that's what set us apart. So we are helping them to build those innovation mindset that they lack or they have, but they don't have the right resources right now. So basically, we are doing a social media campaign and all those things, and trying to get the engagement out of it, and we are getting a very good response out of it because a lot of people are interested in the job. Basically, they the job market is going in a recession market, and they don't have the skill sets, and they're finding it very hard to get jobs. So that's how we are getting a very high engagement rate. So this is our team. We have a mix of a team from basically the masters, graduate students and the undergrad students. I'm the president. We have a vice president, Jason Yang, and we have a vice president in operations, Akansha, and our treasurer, Manish, is from a CS background. There's some more to kind. So these are some of the events we are thinking right now, but there are lots of events what we are thinking, just like the case study events, the certification events for the students to help, the mentorship program, industry panel discussions we can have, and live projects, hackathons, Figma hackathons, we got a pitch competitions and showcase the events in the different every week we can arrange some events, and these events can be done in a single semester. So a student can get ready in the last semester. So feedback and be part of something bigger. That's what our mindset is. That is our club's mindset is. So questions, guys. This was the last slide.
Yeah, we'll just go straight to the question.
Yep.
Couple of questions.
Yep.
As a yes, student, how did you motivate a computer science student who doesn't like to code to be a part of a product manager?
Oh, it's in your question, I think. He's not liking to code. So definitely he want to move to some different field. So no, you're asking the someone who like coding and want to move to a product management.
My question, like a person who doesn't like to code,
Yeah. Yeah.
of course, they would be part of a product manager. So how do your team motivate such people? Like, what are your thoughts or maybe your like campaigning techniques?
Oh, campaigning techniques. Yeah. So what we are going to do is basically host the event first. That is one of the main events where we can talk about what skills we are going to give them and what are they going to do. So for right now, we are going to give pamphlets and we are talking with a lot of interested students. We have given a Google interest form. I've shared in the PDF. So what we have shared with the SGA. So there was quite a good response. We talked with ITM guys, we have talked with the CS guys, and we have spread all the forms in a QR code format. And that's how we're getting all the responses. So that's what our plan is. First, target the interested customers, basically the interested students who are interested in the club, and later on build a bridge around it so they can spread it like organic marketing. If you're giving good stuff out there, so they're going to come back to us. Basically, that's how basically our mindset is to give a good stuff out there, and they will just bring the most students inside because everyone wants a job and everyone wants to build skills. So what are the skills that are going to give them in the market? So that's what we are giving. So that's our goal is. Yeah, that's how we are planning to. Yeah.
Like talk about skills.
Yeah.
Or UI or
Yeah.
really so. Do you guys provide maybe a like college membership or the software at a discounted rate, or maybe you have any promotions to provide, or do the students have to buy it on their own and
So yeah, the Figma is free for students and they can use it. So what we are going to give them the resources basically is somewhat like Mobin, where they can get inspiration for the different Figma designs and design systems which are available all over the internet. But those are quite scattered. I have like design system from Apple, design system from Google, design system from Vertical UI, and design system from Jira and other software companies, Adobe. They have all the design systems, and we are going to give them to the students, and so that they can learn how a company design their Figma UI UX designs and how they use components and all those skills. So the skill, all the tools are free in the market. I'm not going to lie to you. So all the tools are basically free. What we are going to spend in this club basically to give them the events and ask the product management managers to come in, and maybe we can take them to a company where one product management is interested in how they do a daily skill set. So that will be just the costing we are going to spend. And all the events basically to the normal costing, which are just like we host an event and all and some guys come and we are giving a food for them and the drinks, all those costs. But other than that, we are only focusing on giving the skills at free, which is available on free on internet, but in a not in a scattered way, but in an aggregate approach. That's what our target is. Yep. Yep. Oh, mine, Lumos. It is a product-based startup. So we are part of the Kaplan Pitch Fest. This is a spring course basically. It's having in every spring. So it's like 10 teams get selected here. In the Kaplan, you have to apply it before, just like 6 months before. And Nick Rokop and Mariam Salam teach it. This course. So we are part of it. Yeah. Product based. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I don't mean to interrupt, but we are out of time,
Yeah.
so if you guys wanna make a motion to move on or spend time, that's up to you, but I need a motion. We get motion to move on? No. Discussion? Is there a second? Okay. Any opposed? Okay, we'll move on. We'll see.
Okay.
Would anybody like to open a discussion period, or would we like to move on again? It's up to you guys. Is there a motion to do anything, or do you want to sit for the 5 minutes? Yeah. Very deep discussion on that. What was the motion? Moving on. Okay. Move on. Okay. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. We're gonna move on. This is going to lead us to an open discussion about how we want the future of Senate to be structured. Presentation by Mark is happening next week. I apologize. I dropped on the line a little too late. So I would like to discuss with you guys how you want Senate to be functioning, because last semester I kind of did the same thing that my predecessor had done. And now I think it's time we understand enough about how that was run to know that things need to change in order for us to be successful. And I think all of you guys can agree. So things need to change. And we had some interesting conversations. Jacob, would you come help me? Yeah, you can. So we had some interesting conversations at the Senate retreat that I think everybody was kind of gain some understanding from. If you guys would like to come down from your screen savers. I'll just read over some of the conversations that we had. Jog your memory on how you want them to be right now. This is I don't know if this is so come on down. Yep. Congratulations. So we had some good discussions at the Senate retreat. Yeah. The point of this is to get us to lay out a model that we want to see.
Better not be that. Whoa, what's that?
Something hitting your right.
Oh, I'm glad I'm about to take that.
That's my stuff.
Oh.
Like, that's my subject.
We need a separate partnership? What the fuck does that mean?
Okay,
What
what's
are they-
going on with military force?
Sorry. You guys should put this person in the bridge and just roll on it.
Andrew Rowland. No, this was Andrew Rowland was So
Oh, yeah.
what I want you guys to get out of this
General.
is that we understand things need to change, but you guys are the primary consumers and you guys are also the drivers. So Jacob has an idea that he would like me to present on, or that he will be presenting on? Okay, I will present on. That I think could be a start, but I also think we need to have a discussion about it and see what you guys want to say out of it. But in general, I think nothing gets done. I've also been in discussions with Graham to forload the, part of approving student organizations. And he's willing to take over, we just have to write the resolution. And I think that would be a good way, because we spent more than 50% of our meeting last semester listening to student organization proposals. And not one even came close to being denied. One, I apologize, I broke it up once. But I think overall we can do it kind of. And Graham's job normally does it at other universities. So if you guys want to do that, I'll pursue that resolution, get that off of the agenda. But I think the big point is, these are some things that we want to do. Yeah, just random stuff, but also without that, we'd have more time for either committee meetings or for just general collaboration, and then committee meetings would happen on their own. So the VPs would help to organize that outside of 7 hours, which is what a normal assembly does. So I would like to hear all of your opinions, your thoughts, the yays, the nays.
I can't.
Stuff that we want to accomplish through this. This isn't really the layout. The layout, I'm gonna drop the screen down here in a second again and show you Jacob's proposal. Which I think has some merit and is fairly strong. He says it'll be fun. I have no idea.
Is it a long script or a long document?
A long what or a long what?
Google Doc or
Discord chat. Do you have a Google Doc?
Google Doc?
How do I drop the screen?
Utilities.
Utilities.
Project
Or the-
project
yeah.
screen down.
Yep.
And then return, then unblank the screen. Usually I get paid for that.
Where did you send that committee to? Okay. So I think this proposal has a lot of merit. Basically, your basic stuff up top. And then there'll be a proposed Senate agenda, presentation of resolutions and voting items proposed by Senate members. Yeah, some clarification there. Discussion on any items that have previously been discussed and are not in the final stage, but still in the discussion period. Okay, I guess we're going 1, 3, 2. Discussion of any orgs or items that are both thoroughly discussed and voted on that day. Org should submit a proposal doc, not give a presentation. I think that's something of merit. And I think maybe they could work with Graham to finalize that, and then we don't have to do as much presentation. Can you guys read this, or do you need it bigger? Okay, let me try. Is that any better? There are seats up front if you can't see, so. Present.
That into a notepad,
Oh, good lord. That's, I can't.
and then you can make the font a lot bigger. That also works. Right.
Control shift.
There. Just, yeah, just increase the size.
Like this.
Oh, that can work.
I don't know how to work this.
Just send it to this one.
Yeah, I might send it at this point.
Hey, shut up.
Wait, Derek, what's your major again?
I pretend to be technical.
Clearly not anything technical.
Oh my
God. No pressure.
Yeah, you guys get up here and perform. Okay, but I think it holds some merit, and I think it's where we should start our discussion from. So I just realized. Okay, so leave your comments that you think. Let's talk about it though. So what do you guys want to get out of Senate? What have any of you participated in student government at different institutions? Spencer, you have. Anybody else? I participated in it in high school and it was very different. Very much more, here's what you're gonna do it. We don't have that here, so there's got to be some level of self-accountability. Sudipta? And how do you think we could change our Senate to be more productive?
Yeah, I would like forward this on, but anything that is not paid or it is voluntary will never be taken seriously by any person. If you propose to do something in a productive manner, you have to like either do it on a whiteboard or you have to lure that person to come. So if you want to tell something or if you want to propose something, what if you want someone to do a
Oh.
volunteer, you cannot expect that person to be serious.
Okay.
I don't think everyone should. I'm not telling that a senator should get paid for this. There can be two aspects of seeing this. Number one point can be only the executive board can be paid at this point of time. Number one, it can be elected. And the second is there's a finance board that is there. I think monitoring, I think that. So why don't the executive take the control and why don't the SBA decide on what amount of money should be given to one student or because
Okay, I'll just add some point of information from there. The finance board is a branch of student government, so they're separate because we don't want basically to double dip in conflicts of interest all the time. So people who serve on the finance board only serve on the finance board. That's just to keep a separation. Monique is elected at our general elections. Her position, the finance board chair, just like the rest of us. I think that helps add some point of information. But I understand what you're saying, Sudipta, but I'm focusing specifically on this. So how can we make student government here more productive without paying senators? Bolu, will you take notes? I've been trying to get you. Thank you. So what do we got for ideas? And I think now is a great time to eat while you're coming up with ideas to feed the brain. So grab some food while we're discussing.
Really?
I'm gonna be flat out. We have no vision. We have no real connection with students as of now. We don't truly know what people want. And we don't have a vision for initiatives that we wanna set forth and allocate people to accomplish. So until we put effort into formulating that, it doesn't matter how many senators we have, no one will ever do anything.
Zero Was that a question? Oh, okay.
Let's go to the one.
So I think this is a strong layout. I think it helps. Do we feel okay about committee meetings meeting outside of Senate hours? I think that should be a norm anyway. I think,
Wasn't there a discussion to do alternating?
yeah, but Jacob brought up the fact that his committee doesn't even meet during regular Senate hours. And I think that was a fair point.
Oh, I think that it would be not, then it's not necessary if the university has Senate. Because as it is, both the committees that and either management or public manage only what's on. So,
Comment, put a comment. I'm not gonna remember this, but put a comment in the document. Okay,
and the vote answer, the vote initiative that we need for senators. I think we started after that with the requirement of tabling. You need to sign up if you haven't signed up. I think starting to really put our fists down on that would help. And I personally have to thank Jacob for helping to start that. So,
yeah.
I think requiring people to start tabling regularly will be, the start of an answer to engagement with those.
Well, I only concern with not having, with having somebody that would find out fine and how do you know that you're gonna get all your senators on that committee then, because everybody has very different schedules, SC meetings every Wednesday. As far as being a senator, you're free.
There's
You're supposed to be free during that time.
a level of personal responsibility that senators will have to uphold, and I don't think that's asking too much of you guys. I think that having the committee meetings outside of the hours also frees up the fact that sometimes we go to committee meetings and nothing gets talked about. And sometimes things come up in the middle of the week and you're like, oh, gotta wait till next Wednesday. So committee meeting, when I'll mention it, but nobody will really listen. And so I think this is my opinion, saying it about a million times. But I think that this is the strongest layout. We can make layout changes to this, and we can include brief committee meetings for the semester. But I think we should start to lean away from that. Some of the most successful ventures that I've seen, I know way too many people on Jacob's committee. Most of them don't do much, but most of them are also involved in tons of different things. And they just happen to have an invite to his committee meeting. They show up and they hear what he has to say or whatever he's doing. Or they're on his email list and then they do okay for it because he's very good at delegating. And so then things happen and it doesn't happen based off one specific time. This is great to come together and make real decisions together, but it shouldn't be where we're building everything. I think that some of that needs to come from your own self-motivation and some of it has to happen outside some.
So are we saying that we want to do outside of Senate committee meetings, or are we just saying get rid of committee meetings unless needed and just have things people do something with it?
Jacob?
Instead of the outside committee, the outside of and then the committee meeting to meet.
So, for me, as
Yeah, but probably only once a month.
So, as an example, on last Friday, I met with Sadhuka, Rutam, Ishan, and who was the last person? Yes. We met with Molly, who's in charge of the Microsoft transition for the university. And I think that was one of the more productive meetings I've been in this semester. And it was just basically a focus group of people who we were asking questions, getting some answers. There's not really any objectives for that. So it's not like a committee, like all working towards something. But we're simply trying to get further understand what the university's priorities are. And I think that's what the committee meetings look like. It's just a half an hour meeting here and there, but it's more expert delegation, which I know is very hard, trust me. I have a hard time letting go. But I think it's something that we can all learn to do.
Yeah, I have one second point to this. Derek, if you remember, when we ran for the election, like as a student, new student, how did I get to know about it from your mail? Like from a communication that was sent over to the whole DL list, DL of all the IIT students. When did you see such a mail in the last 6 months? Never. How do you, how a new student, like a spring student, they come and ask me, what is an LC? What do you do an LC? And I have to go to every student and explain them what is an LC. So there is not much happening around people.
Yeah.
That people need to know about it. So why don't we send out regular mails to the real like if a student or is giving out any presentation, why don't we invite other students from there to come and see what they are going to be a part of?
That was part of Jacob's proposal, is to have a constant running mail list that anybody can join, and I think you can make those quite simply in Google Groups, right? Right. And then just have maybe a survey, bridging, wire tabling or whatever out on the bridge. Availability to be like, do you want to be on a mailing list? And then have the vice president engagement or one of the vice presidents write up a weekly thing that goes out. I don't think that's too much to ask. Do you see that? I think that's something that could improve.
Beyond the mailing list, I mean, the kind of thing I think that, something I think that there used to be, like, every week.
There is going to be again this semester. Not this week though.
That was included in people, that article itself. The symbol, the top thing, the student section of that.
So are we okay with kind of the general layout here that this lays out though? So Jacob, just for clarification for me, the proposed Senate agenda, would that be proposed at the beginning of the meeting or like a week in advance?
Oh, I was saying that this is my proposed Senate agenda. This, I mean, ideally, the agenda for
So generally, this is what I'm coming to the conclusion that things need to change. We didn't get anything tangible done last semester. And I think that that's nobody's fault but our own. And I think things could be easily better. I think skilled delegation is one of the most important things. And I think this falls on the VPs. Sorry to call you guys out. I think that could be stronger. But I also think part of it falls on Reswan and I. We continued the same thing, thinking that it would be different. And I'm pretty sure that's the definition of insanity. So I think the retreat, we came up with a lot of good ideas on how it can change. I think this is where we're going to start. I think we should just spend something.
I'll talk to you later about it.
Okay. But I think there's a lot of strong points here. Do you guys have any large changes that you would make to this? The Senate agenda would probably be sent out the Sunday or the Monday before the meeting. An Instagram post would be made the Friday before, hopefully.
I'd send out a post for maybe, like that, with the goals of that.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of where I'm gonna start. So now I've laid out what I'm doing. This is my action plan. I'll be working on it until we meet next Wednesday, which will be in Pritzker Club and MTCC. Look forward to seeing you all there. So this is my action plan. I'm gonna try to finalize different pieces of this and start to execute it. So
What are your guys' action items? This is self-accountability, so I have none for you. What do you want to set for yourselves? What do you guys want to see senators do this semester? You can repeat the same thing.
The thing is also, as Lisa said, senators being paid, it motivates them to come here. But even if they are not paid, we have another thing, uh, in their bucket. If they are given a good recognition, like the senators that are elected these days, either the people they represent don't know who their leader is. And the people these senators will report, means the dean also doesn't know who the senator of the school is. That is why we need to make the senators obligated in both ways. If we will let the dean know that he is a senator, and let the people know that this guy is a senator, then this senator will get obligated to the issues that people face and the things that the dean says. So at the end of the day, we will see taking those issues coming to the meeting, like we see not much senators at home, right? So at the end of the day, they will be obligated to something, so they can attend each and every meeting, present the issues of their respective schools or respective parties they represent to the committee, and then we all people can work that out together. So even if it's not a paid job, but as a part of recognition, because the senator will think that the sword is on his head. If he does good, then the sword moves away. If he does bad, then the sword falls. That is what.
So I think a general goal that I can say that I would like people to do is for vice presidents to get with me, get the names of people who said they're on your committee. And I can give you the email as well. And you can send out a win to meet or something to start getting an idea of what people's schedules are. For the senators, I think we had a fairly good list of goals that we want to work towards. And we can take a couple minutes break so we can. Yeah, I think Jacob had a document with his takeaways. I don't think I've typed up mine. Let's see.
One thing that you mentioned, I'll chime in here a little bit, and a lot of student governments that I've seen that have been successful kind of parallel the administrative and governance structures of the campus. So, universities are organized into kind of financial affairs, facilities related things, student affairs, enrollment, etc. And then the academic disciplines are organized their way. And then there's also the faculty council and other groups like that. So if you monitor what's going on in those organizations, you get to see the direction that some people at least would like to see the university go. And as I tell folks, when I was a vice president, I'm constantly asking the president for new resources, and they tune out the vice presidents like elevator music, just kind of background noise that, it's going to happen. But when the student voice is added to that can often get things over the top. And what I'll share with you next week in my presentation are some examples of things that effective student governments have achieved. And they're not little in-house kinds of things. These are campus-wide initiatives that change and improve the quality of life of students. And they can be academic, they can be administrative, they can come in many different frameworks. But so there is a model out there that would have you your committees and maybe your administrative organization focus on the issues that are really prominent in your institution at any given time. And so that's just another thought.
So I think this is where this kind of conversation is going to end tonight. Unless somebody else has something to say, we have a few more things to get through. I will continue to be working on this and working to perfect this. I'll bring this up again next week and bother you all again with it. So be thinking about this, be thinking about how we can create a more collaborative, more useful Senate. And I will send out an email to the senators, hopefully including your accurate committee assignment that you have chosen. And then the VPs can use that to hopefully reach out. But with that, I'm going to move on to Joseph for an accountability report.
All right. Well, we just spent a good amount of time talking about what you guys can do better. But now we're going to talk about what exec can do better. So basically yesterday, with the help of Senator Maya Bajorek, I tabled with her during lunch, and we collected over 100 responses, 105 on albeit some pretty vague questions about the job performance of the SGA. But it's a good glimpse of just how the students think that we're doing and how what their opinions are of the various areas that our exec board covers. So this is not a direct reflection of the exec position, but it is the jobs of each exec position. And this is an initiative that Alio's been talking about for a while, approval ratings for various exec positions. So about to reveal them to you guys right now. Oh, wait. Oh, it's your keyboard. Okay, cool. No, that's all good. Just another disclaimers. Results are based on a small sample of students, even though it was 100 students. There's still a lot more students here at IIT, so that is a factor to consider. There was lack of question detail, and there was only one question asked for each person, basically. So again, take that with a grain of salt. And then it includes some positions or areas that have just been recently filled or created recently. So poor performance may be explained away. Like there is a bigger story to some of these numbers. They're not just numbers. But it's all in good fun. So just relax and enjoy the show. So Special Committee on Public Safety has a approval rating of 46.7% and a disapproval rating of 8.6. So I'm just going to explain once how the pie chart works. Basically, blue is approved, red is disapproved, orange is I don't know. Why didn't I take out all the responses that say I don't know? Well, one, it would be a very small sample size then, because as it turns out, most students don't really know what SGA does and, you know, the various positions. So I thought it would be a good reflection to include this number just to see what your numbers could be. So we have a bottom that this is like a floor of 46% for every, or I guess whatever number it is. This is the blue is the floor. That's the absolute minimum approval. But if we do work a little bit harder, we could get all of this pie in here. So there's kind of true approval ratings and current or technical approval ratings. Again, take the numbers with a grain of salt. So moving on. Research affairs, 33 0.3 approval. But if you look, there's only a 2% disapproval, which is the lowest of any committee. And since this was a committee that was recently started and recently got a vice president position, it's no surprise that 64% of students don't really know what's been going on with it so far, as it's so new. So 33% might look bad, but there's some context behind the numbers. VP of engagement, 50.5% approval, 13.3% disapproval. Maybe got a little bump because of the tabling, but that's the number for that. Campus life, highest approval out of all the positions so far, 52.4 approval and only an 8.6 disapproval. Residence life got a 42.9% approval with a 7.6 disapproval. Academic affairs, 38.1% approval, 7.6 disapproval. This position was recently vacant though, so again, take number with grain of salt. VP of DEI, an astounding 50.5% approval, considering this was a position that was vacant for almost a year. So Mario, I don't know what you've been doing so far, but people love you. And 5.7% disapproval is quite low as well. So
You have a magic wand.
yeah, whatever you're doing, keep up the good work, I guess. Finance board chair, 42.9% approval and a 9.5% disapproval. Not bad considering the other statistics. The EVP is a 41.9% approval, 7.6 disapproval. And drum roll, please. Really weak. Wow. The president's approval, a 46.7 approval and a 8.6 disapproval. That's it. Tessa?
Okay, this is correlating questions that are somewhat unrelated to the executive.
Yes, that's why I put a disclaimer at the very beginning. Because that's just what we could fill out on our form. We didn't really have time to make an educated form. This was kind of just a quick thing for tabling. It's just an idea. I gave some disclaimers. It's not a perfect science. It's for fun.
And it's cool.
Thank you, Jacob.
Kind of a related note, I've seen some student governments, ask a question of the week and use the student newspaper as the framework for that, to pose the question, have a website or something for people to respond to. And, you can get some very meaty, issues and concerns out there. And it really does, vicariously, by posing questions, it publicizes what you do.
I think that might be a good idea. Should talk to Chris about that. Yes, I do. Jacob, you are up, sir. The context for this is that there's a channel in the Discord titled Legislative Comments. And these are the threads that I've made. I got asked about the last one, but I'll go over them now, especially in light of I've been typing these before knowing what this agenda would be. But the discussion was based on what will SGA do? What will people do? How will it be structured?
these are what I find as students constantly complaining about. And so I've made the threads hoping that a senator will take it up and begin a resolution. I think I only be on one of these, that being the union board policy revision. The rest of them are pretty much outside my realm, except three, at least regarding research. So I'll go over each of them. The first one is senator reports. It's hopefully, and this is like a synagogue representation of what senators will actually do. And it's just there, we have senator reports, we have weekly tabling now. These are two defined roles of senators. And we had a bit of a dismal conversation earlier about what will senators do, and like we're creating all these requirements for them. I recently had a conversation with Sudipta, who had brought up that there needs to be more incentive, and I agreed. I will briefly try to find our conversation. And so one thing also for beyond just senators and their designated roles is what will be the benefits of joining SGA. And so I think one of the focuses of senators should be something like Corey wanted to start and lead, is community outreach and engagement. And so if SGA has partnerships across the city, like maybe it's not just Film Club that has a partnership with the Gene Siskel or other theaters across the city, but maybe SGA has a partnership and members of SGA get an enhanced discount. Maybe there are raffles that happen exclusively within SGA. This all would happen as a result of community engagement and sponsorships and affiliations. So that's something that I hope some senators will be interested in working on. Maybe they'll share it in the Discord chat, however they're going to communicate that they're interested in working on it. It's something that I'd like to have. Yeah, and so but the senator reports is just okay. Can like one executive, really, I'm calling upon, list out everything that a senator wants to do or should do and should be part of the requirement. The other thing that was brought up, or that I had brought up, is requiring senators to bring at least one guest per semester. I don't know how we can really enforce these things, but just requiring them to bring one non-voting member per semester just to get somebody, else interested. I think I was never a part of it, but I think the Boy Scouts of America does this. And I don't know how it works for them. Anyways, union board policy revision. This is a resolution or a call for, these are all calls for resolutions effectively to, I titled it, I think you can't have your cake and eat it too, union board. And so that's saying that union board currently has this exclusive policy where they get a certain amount of funding, and only some amount of that funding is actually seen by students. Some of it actually comes to fruition. And so we witnessed SGA maybe doesn't do much, but I think if SGA had union board under its breadth, that Elio's position and Andrew's position would be enhanced greatly. So if there's a resolution that calls for that, I think that's needed. That's needed to get union board involved and students, having more events. International Student Affairs. This was secondary to my research affairs committee when I tried to create a special committee. If anybody's interested in the affairs of international students, I think a special committee is needed for this. I'm not going to go too much into it. If you're an international student, you probably know the problems. Finance board structure. That is trying to create the Kaplan Startup Accelerator. I don't remember if this is actually what I hoped for, but this is one of the things, is that finance board creates and SGA, combined, help student orgs that have just, launched, actually get started, and they provide a support structure. It's if you're familiar with startups, it's basically a startup accelerator for organizations. That's all it is, and you would apply for it, and SGA would approve it, and they would work with finance board, because right now I don't know what finance board is doing. But I think they've made it where they don't do anything during this period. Most of them. Commons quality. I have yet to see a resolution for Commons food. So I think a resolution regarding Commons food, somebody who attends the food advisory board meetings can create an educated resolution. Student health and wellness. I hear complaints about that. I see no resolution. Yeah. Student org status and labels. So this is the last thing. I'm trying to rush through these. But the org status is that we're witnessing, or this is my response to us witnessing student orgs, and actually my desire to create, although probably never will, a quantum computation club. And so beyond my own interests is that we see clubs that certainly could fall within other clubs, or that may need recognition from their national organization, but shouldn't necessarily receive funding or should have different rights. And so I just think that there should be different groups for student org. So I'll probably write this one because I think that there should just be not, it shouldn't just be a, okay, this org doesn't exist on our campus, or it does and it receives X amount of funding equivalent to the rest. That's it. It's different statuses. I think finance board is kind of unofficially doing this by saying, how does it align with your mission and vision? And they give a certain amount, but something more official. This isn't really a report for the research affairs committee, but you know, I love to talk. Regarding reports. Yeah. So this is spaghetti, hoping somebody will catch it and throw some pesto on it. Yeah. Regarding reports, I mean, I recently sent this out to my executives. This semester we have like 5 events planned. We had the Chem Club Research Banquet, which was a collaboration with Chem Club. Thank you to Maya for helping organize that. Maya and Adriana. Adriana is our chem representative, if you know her. She's also a camera scholar. In February, we'll have a presentation from the office, or a workshop from the Office of Global Services. And this has just begun being coordinated, and they will discuss how students, international students, and visa statuses can be affected by different research positions. This is the first time I'm giving this. This will also be the only time that I'm announcing this events, at this forum. Also in February, or maybe in March, is I hope to get under the undergraduate research journal a workshop on how to get published in there, just so that there's more people publishing in there and there's more students actually published, because it is a published document with the DOI once you do get published in there. The science fellowships and scholarships is going to happen in March. That's just another presentation from various professors. And then in April is the big event, the undergraduate research banquet. And these are all just events happening alongside primarily the website development. That's the big thing of the SRA. It's getting the website developed. That's all.
Hello. So, few things. We're gonna start asking people to start volunteering for an upcoming event. Please contact Jacob or Andrew for this event. It is the casino night. We need a lot of people. Anything from distributors to security guards, quote unquote. And it'll be on the quad. Date again, February 23rd? Yeah. February 23rd in the evening from 7 to 11 p.m. So we need volunteers for that, and we need a lot. So if you or your friends want to help out, not necessarily to join the event, but you want to help us out, please do so. We'll take anybody, because we do need people. I'm still looking for assistance for social media, but it's now gone down from I need help with everything to I need help with only 2 things, LinkedIn and the Facebook ITFC. My main priority is the ITFC because we have a very large amount of people on that Facebook page. And the only role you really need to do is, or the only thing you really need to do is give me your Facebook account so I can make you an administrator on it, and all you have to do is approve or disapprove people that want to join the thing. And you just have to look at a set of questions on how they answered them. If they didn't answer them correctly, you reject them. If they did answer them correctly, you just accept them. It's not much. I'm still seeking graphic designers for templates that send it agenda posts, campus-wide posts, and event postings. So if you're interested in helping with graphic design, please talk to me. So I kind of want to modify a few things. Because my term is up at the end of the semester, and I want to make sure that the next VP of engagement is able to have a very smooth transition. And then finally, the website has been updated. And no, the font didn't change on the website. It changed here on my slide. If you notice, the font is slightly different from the other ones. That is because I'm thinking of switching over to an ITC Bauhaus font. For one particular reason is that it goes back to our university roots, but it's also very smooth and pretty nice to just look at. Our current font is very beforehand. So let me know what you think, but also there have been website updates for the executives and Senate. Other than that, that's it from me.
I guess none of them are skipped on the PowerPoint. Me, Pritzker Club next week is where we'll be meeting, 6:30. We'll hopefully be starting on time. I had something else to say. Sadupta, I'm gonna take your report. I apologize. Actually, no, you can go ahead. Sadupta and I and Rutam and Tessa have met with the Microsoft team. Come on down. And Sadupta's just gonna tell you some of the random info that we learned.
Hi, everyone. So last Friday, we had a meeting with Molly, who is the director of OTS. So she mentioned two important things that every student like here should know. Number one, IIT is moving from iit.edu to illinoistech.edu. This decision has come from the treasurers, so nothing much we can do here. And the second is a big one, that's like every services which is currently in Google will be moved to Microsoft. So Gmail will move to Outlook, all the storages will move to OneDrive. So it will be a transition that will happen over maybe a 12 to 18 months. Hopefully it will happen sooner, but everything here is going to be enforced. So what we propose in the meeting is not do everything at once. So we should already like we have proposed to take some feedbacks from students and get what the responses is. But I know that we all know that the end of the day, it will be IIT's decision and it will be IIT's decision at the end. So, but it should not be like a bombshell dropped on one. So that is one thing. And the second thing is we would need any maybe 3 members to give that feedback to Molly, because we cannot accommodate so many people at once in a meeting. So we would need any 3 volunteers. We already have 5. So we might need 3 of maybe SG or anyone who in the college who is interested, maybe any of your friends who is interested in doing that, to let us know. So, and we will send out a form as well for that. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Just to add on to what Stupa said, lots of stuff. They're still open to feedback though at this point, so I want to make sure that we're getting that through. I think one thing for sure is that we don't want adhoc.illinoistech.edu. That's very, very, very long. So we're looking at better acronyms. I think Ben told me IL Tech maybe, something shorter, because that just adds a lot of letters.
What did you say the reasoning was for getting rid of the Hawk?
They're not getting rid of the Hawk. It'll be a Hawk.
Hawk.illinoistech.edu.
And then the IIT is no longer our name. It's Illinois Tech. They rebranded it. Like 5 years.
For some reason,
Yeah.
the board of trustees voted that.
It's so we don't get confused with it.
Okay, but the emails, I am personally fine with everything on the website, everything fine. The emails, no.
We can advocate for that. I don't know if they'll jump on it, but
Like the first thing that I think of is, okay, well now every single student has to be brand new.
well, they'll transition it. Here's
No,
another.
but I'm thinking about all the things that we use student things for, student verification, student things we signed up for.
Yeah.
So we do a lot with,
Hold on, you guys, hold on. They've hired a third party that's transitioning everything. I understand some of your like exterior accounts will be like through .iit.edu. Everything from there gets forwarded straight to your new account. And then when you respond from that account, it will be your new account. So they've hired a third party that will transition everything for us. So there shouldn't be anything lost in the void.
Also, something that was emphasized is there's not necessarily a timeline.
Yeah.
so they're basically keeping the old, but making it redirect to our new.
So right now,
No, I can accept that.
your email is hosted through Google. It'll just be hosted through Outlook.
So is the school switching from Google to Microsoft or like, is it saving a shitload of money?
No, from what I understand, the price is about the same, almost the same. The issue is we have a lot of DoD and other contracts, from my understanding, and Google doesn't have good security. The price wasn't negligible. It wasn't a negligible difference. It was a significant difference. And also it's because things are better integrated within, Microsoft's cloud network. From what Molly said. And what Sajal said.
Well, Molly is drugs.
Molly is the interim CIO. And I trust her. I think she was starting.
What?
Sajal, sorry, it's the interim CIO. She told me this as well. The price was not insignificant, but it wasn't huge. But the main thing that I think they're looking for is more integrated factors, more security. I think we'll get used to it. I was expecting you guys to be more worried about Google Calendar. So,
I can do that on my own, yeah, by email.
yeah. I mean, this is why we're gonna send out a form. Hopefully, I'll be working with Sadupta and Tom about this. Sending out a form that will allow people to drop in their complaints and we can bring them up with Molly. We're meeting again. So. That's that. Anything else from anybody before we adjourn? Jacob?
Well, but I can prepare. I didn't actually have it from it. There's a QR code that I made 5 minutes before the table. You can actually escape from the presentation and then enter the presentation. And this QR code is there. This has been requested for the past few years now, at least that I've heard from the VP of Excellence Affairs. We're always waiting and waiting. Perhaps it should still wait, but here's the form that it's the course evaluation, but 24/7. So first evaluation is only not open right now, but you can still write any complaints you have about a certain class actively here. You can ask you about a class, maybe, you know, you're a math and CS student, probably about the number of students in your class. There's things like that you can complain about, or maybe it's a professor, maybe it's your advisor, that's it. And then also my second update from academic affairs is that I met with the department chair of CS today, and last or 2 weeks ago, a few weeks ago, it was brought up to me that there is non-standardized curriculum in place for certain courses, and so that was discussed, and that will be addressed. I don't exactly know how, but the bigger thing is that, you know, I think I'm most critical when the people, certain administrators, say that they're doing something and they're not, but the department chair of CS is probably one of the most active professors fighting against the problems that students in the department are facing, the number of students within it, there is like the number of students in the classroom, the number of students registering and on the wait list, like all these problems are trying to be addressed, and it is happening. It's just part of the fighting. So that's all. It was probably about a 2.5 hour meeting with the department chair today.
Anything else? If not, then we have a motion to adjournment. Second. Any opposed? Okay, thank you all for coming. I'll see you in Pritzker Club next week with a different agenda layout. And hopefully you guys will have some accountability ideas, and some personal motivation. All right, I'll see you guys then. Bye. Bye, 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 bye.
I have been taking attendance.
Get rid of